What's up, guys? I hope everyone is having a good Labor Day weekend. I've been getting a ton of comments and questions about my experience with UStock. How are their fills? What's their executions like? What are my likes and dislikes about them? And so with all that being said, here is my honest review of UStockTrade. Okay, so to start it off, my favorite thing about UStock is obviously their really cheap commissions. With $1 commissions and only $1 a month usage fees, it's a really cheap platform for new traders, and definitely at the beginning of each trader's career, it's really important to kind of save money wherever you can, and don't blow up your account and preserve your capital enough for you to actually learn how to trade. I think that's really important for new traders, is to actually have that time to learn how to trade, because you're going to take some losses originally, and if you're using too much leverage or if your commissions are too high like other brokers, you can blow up your account really quickly, and it just does not give you enough time to actually learn how to trade the market, learn what works for you and stuff like that. And so with UStockTrade, commissions are only $1, so they're extremely cheap, and that allows you to take very small share size and actually learn how to trade the markets. You won't blow up your account because you're using such small share size, and you're not going to blow up your account and lose your account from commissions either, because commissions are only $1. And so that's my favorite thing about UStock, is that commissions are only $1, and thus I can use really small share size. Once you become profitable with a small share size, you can eventually add more size to your positions, but ultimately when you first start, your share size and your position size needs to be really small, just so you can have that time to learn what's profitable and to learn what works. And so for that's my favorite thing about UStock, and that's number one on my pros list. Okay, so another great thing about UStock is it's really easy to sign up. When I first decided to give UStock a try, I think I was approved in 2 days, which is a pretty quick time relative to other brokers. Another thing is deposits are in your account the next morning. At least they have been in my experience, the 1 or 2 times I've made a deposit. I know a lot of other brokers will also charge you a fee each time you deposit money into your into your own brokerage account. On UStock's end, it's 100% free. I won't say your bank won't charge you a wire fee, but on UStock's end, it's 100% free, which is great for new traders because they need to save money wherever they can, and so that's another great thing I like about UStock. Okay, so another thing that surprised me with UStock is they have decent fills and executions, especially with market orders. If you put in a market order, you're always going to get filled pretty quickly, and most of the time you get filled at a pretty decent price as well. I know a lot of people, they were worried, since it is a peer-to-peer broker, about liquidity and your fills and executions, but from my experience, the executions and fills have been pretty decent. Sometimes you do run into problems, especially if the stock is labeled limited liquidity, but I'll go over that later in the cons section. But for the most part, I enjoy UStock's fills. I appreciate them. They're really quick, and I can get in and out of positions if I need to, especially with a market order. Limit orders are always a little bit less reliable. Sometimes the stock is moving too quickly and your limit order won't get hit, but that's usually with any broker, from my experience, that will happen sometimes. And so for the most part, I do like UStock's fills and executions, but there are some problems that I'll go over later. Okay, so one of the problems with UStock is that sometimes stocks will be labeled limited liquidity. When a stock is labeled that, it'll be a red indicator underneath the price of the stock, underneath the ticker symbol, and so you'll know when it's labeled limited liquidity. The problem with it is that when it is labeled that, you can only get out via limit order. You cannot use a market order to get out, which seems a little bit backwards in my opinion. If the stock's liquidity is limited, a market order would usually be the best bet, but not in this case. You would have to get out with a limit order, which is pretty inconvenient. For the most part, I just try to stay away from stocks that are labeled limited liquidity, just because they're really tough to trade, and you have to use a limit order, so if you have to get out fast, it could be a bit more risky. For the most part, it's not very often that stocks are labeled that. I might see one every few days, and yeah, it's a little inconvenient, and I miss out on trading that stock, but for the most part, since the commissions are so cheap and overall it's a decent broker, aside from that, it is not a deal breaker for me. Okay, so one thing I dislike about UStock is that sometimes when you see a stock moving and you search for it, it's not available to trade. You can see here incorrect symbol or currently not available. This doesn't happen very often, but it happens enough to where it's frustrating and it can be a little bit inconvenient, especially if the stock's a big mover of the day. To UStock's credit, I don't know if y'all know, but RTNB had been moving huge the last few weeks, and at first it was unavailable on UStockTrade, but they did go ahead and add that one. So now you're able to trade RTNB. And so yeah, to UStock's credit, it looks like they're working on this a little bit, and they're adding stocks that are have high volatility and that have high volume, and so it looks like they're trying to fix some of these. But it is something to consider if you want to trade on UStock, that sometimes the stocks you want to trade might not be available to trade, which like I said, it can be kind of frustrating and inconvenient. Still, for me, it's not a deal breaker. They have too many positive qualities to let that be, a deal breaker for me. But it is something to consider if you're thinking about trading on UStock. Okay, so the last thing I dislike about UStock is, its lack of charting capabilities and platform. It's a very minimalist platform. It doesn't have, really complex charts and stuff like that. It does have charts, but they don't even have the price axis on them or anything like that. The way to get around that is simply use a different charting software. I use thinkorswim for charts, level 2, and everything like that, and so it's not a huge deal at all. As you can see in my live trade videos, I just put UStock up next to my thinkorswim and just trade using that way. I just execute my trades with UStock, and that's it. They do have a stop loss feature, but they don't have more complex stop losses like trailing stops or anything like that, and so that's something to consider as well. But in the grand scheme of things, most people that use UStock are relatively new traders, and so I think it's a great tool for new traders to learn how to trade with cheap commissions and using only small size to just to really learn how to trade. I know I say this over and over again, but I think it's really important for new traders to just learn how to trade the market and just be able to spend enough time in the market before blowing up your account that you actually learn how to trade profitably, learn what setups work for you and stuff like that. And so for that case, I think UStock is a great tool for new traders. It's really cheap. You can use small share size and just really learn how to trade, which I think is great. I have no relation to UStockTrade. I don't work for them or anything like that. They don't pay me any money, so I tried to make this as unbiased as possible. And, I hope this helps new traders understand kind of what UStock is all about. Anyways, guys, that is the end of my review for UStock. If you want to keep watching more videos like this and as well as live trade videos, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. It really does a lot to help support the channel. Also, come check out our free day trading chat room. I post a link in each video's description, so come check that out when you have time. And good luck in the markets, guys. Thanks for watching.